Hey everyone, welcome back. I thought I was recording. I flew through the user management and glanced over to my recording and saw that I didn't even start recording. So I already finished the user management. Now I'm gonna jump into customizing org to support a new business unit. So we'll see how this goes. All right. Looks like this is going to be an hour and 25 minutes total. We'll see how long it takes me. Manage user access introduction. Launch new Trailhead Pro playground. Let's go ahead and do that. Launch the playground. All right. Go back to the top. Launch the prayer. Create new users. All right. So we'll do what we did yesterday and make two windows. So let me pop this off into this own window. Move that to the right. Click on this. Here's our instructions. All right, block. Setup. Enter users. We can enter it here, but I know it's just right here, so we're just gonna go straight into it. I don't need this prompt stuff. All users. So this is a training environment, so you're not gonna see a lot of users. Alright, so we're going to create our first user. So new user, first name. And one thing to take note of that is in Salesforce, the first name is not a required field. You can make it a required field through the settings, but for whatever reason, Salesforce has never made the first name, since I've used it, has never made the first name a required field, which is weird. The alias will auto-populate. And sometimes if your users' names are too long, you'll see it shortened. But there's no, the character limit isn't that short. So if you want to, you can spell it out. It looks like that's the limit of the characters. Um, Enter. So it says enter email address. So we'll just say. Copy the alias and at domain.com. Doesn't really matter what it is. Nickname F Suzuki. Title customer. Rep department customer support. All these information aren't really required. The environments that I've managed, sometimes people put it in, sometimes people don't put it in. Unless you're doing a lot with users and you really need this information in the system, um, it's not really. Like if you're a small company, you're probably not going to use this. But if you're a bigger company and you want to run a lot of good analytics and understand how your business is running, it's probably a good idea to put that information in. So the role is Customer Support International, Salesforce Platform. And so if you see here, user license, this has a lot of different licenses because this is a training environment, but normally you don't have this many licenses. Some of these are free, and so it'll appear there. I know Chatter, and I think Chatter External is free. Um, this is free. Force.com is free also, but a lot of these other things are, I don't believe they're free. But it's been a while since I used Salesforce. And when you operate your own Salesforce environment, you'll get a better understanding of the licensing. Profile standard platform user. All right. A lot of this stuff is pretty straightforward. When I manage users, I always uncheck these two boxes. They're just Salesforce marketing information or updates. A lot of users don't need it. I mean, unless you're an admin and you really want to see it, I always check it. It just reduces the number of emails that goes to user accounts. Um, all right, so we got time zone, locale, and language. Time zone is going to be Japan Standard Time. Uh, +9 is up here. +9. Japan Standard Time. Locale is going to be Japanese. And language is also going to be Japanese. I've never messed with any of these languages. I've never had to deal with users outside of the United States. So the only thing I really changed in this area was always just time zone between the different time zones in the United States. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, that you make you change everything except for currency. All right, so we'll be saving new. This is all I need to do. I'm gonna add another user. Oh, looks like invalid data error. Duplicate username. The user already exists. What? We'll call it domain 1 then. What is... Oh, okay. Shoot. Um, so I think I have an idea why this is happening. So Salesforce users username are unique across all Salesforce environment. It's not just your environment. So my guess is that I picked a username for this training that is the same username that somebody else has already created in their training environment. And because of that, it's generating this. And I added a one. They probably thought the same thing I did. The second person they added one. So and then probably somebody probably has this too. Nope, nobody did too. So uh, that's why that error came up. Because somebody did the exact same thing I did. I was like, oh, we'll just do this because right because your username just has to be in the email format. It doesn't have to be an actual email address. And so somebody did domain.com, and somebody, maybe another person did domain1.com, but nobody has done domain2.com. So if my training environment is still up and running, and somebody goes in and does domain2.com with this same format, it'll probably throw the same error too. And then you're probably thinking to yourself, why is it? This is a training. It shouldn't happen. But the way Salesforce work is that usernames has to be unique across all their organization, all the different Salesforce environment, and that's just how it is. All right, Aaron Hartzler. A heart auto populate, filling this. So watch. We'll do this. It may or may not throw an error, but we'll see how it goes. Nickname A Hartzler. Title customer support rep. Oh. Oh, okay, nobody used it, but I wasn't actually done, so I'll go back in. Uh, role. Title, customer support rep, department, customer support. Role, customer support North America. Platform, oh no, just Salesforce. And a profile, standard user. And you always want to make sure this checkbox is active, otherwise it doesn't activate the user license and they can't get access to it. Um, but if you're in an actual production environment and you're working and then you need to disable, all you got to do is come in here and uncheck this box. It'll disable the account. They can no longer log in. Like I said, I always uncheck this. These are fake user. It doesn't really matter, but out of habit, I just uncheck it. And everything else is the same, so it doesn't tell you to change anything else. We'll go ahead and hit save. Alright, verify email addresses. In future steps, you'll be sending test email. So Salesforce requires that users have verified their email address. So while you're setting up user, it's perfect time to verify your user email address as well. So set up, click users, click on your name. Alright, so go back to the actual users page, click my name. And click verify. Alright, so we'll go ahead and verify. And it popped up, right? So here's the verification. We'll just go ahead and click on this to verify. I think I verify. Sometimes if it doesn't pop up, all you gotta do is hit Control on your keyboard if you're using Outlook, and then click on it. There it goes. Alright, email verify. Cool. Don't need that. Alright, check your email and click verification link. So move on to the next step. Let's help them get chatty. Alright, so verify. Should get the points. Alright, cool. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead, follow the account records, app launcher, and select service. Let's go back and use this one. Service, click on the account tab. Alright, account list view and change the view to all accounts. Alright, so here's all the accounts, a total of 13 accounts. Click on Edge Communication, click Follow. Close this, activity, chatter, follow right here. Now create a case on the Edge Communications account. Alright, so when you, so cases, because this is the account object, it's telling you to create cases. It says scroll down, but you should understand that a case is an object on its own also. And so objects can be linked together through a lookup relationship. And so whenever you see training or people reference about related or create new things, right? Like this says scroll down to the case and click on new. But if for some reason, like you're in production and you're already doing things, you have to come to relate it in order to create the additional stuff. Like you can go straight to cases and create it and then add, but when you do it from the page itself, it populates certain things for you, right? Like the account name, you don't have to go searching for it. That stuff populate, and you can set up rules and workflows to help streamline some of these things when you do this. So it makes it easier. So back to the training case. Origin is email. So that's email. Type is electronics. And case reason performance. All right. So the way cases in Salesforce acts like support cases, right? Like you call AT&T or Verizon or Comcast or whatever vendor, internet service provider or carrier. And usually they'll create a case in the background, and they're probably not using Salesforce, and or they might, but this is how they track issues that comes up, so that it helps them understand problems that exist out in the in with their customers, so that they may use the data to help build better solutions, or it's just a way to track if people are working, and also a way to be able to collect more information from their users. So subject, where is the subject? Subject, laptop not working. Description, client, new laptop not working. Let's save. So that's all we gotta do. So now there's a case related to this. Um, before there wasn't one. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there wasn't a case here earlier. Now there's one. Yeah. Now they want us to create a chatter group. So app launcher, enter groups. And you don't. I don't think this one you did. You could just use this too. Search group. That doesn't take you to the actual groups. Let's try it. Active groups. Yeah, same thing. Hit new. Select group. Hit new, and yeah. So group name, Edge, Communications, Customer Support. Like this, so this group is specific for this customer. Like the idea is to only discuss issues or challenges you're having with the customer or ways to solve their problems, right? Normal companies, I mean, I don't me personally, if I was working for a company, I probably want to create a group for every single customer, because not every single customer is going to have this much problem. You're probably going to look at your top 10% or top 20% of customers that you may create something a little bit more focused, so it creates more awareness, right? You give more attention to your top customers that spend more money, because you want them to keep subscribing to your services or buying from your products. So you probably want to be able to do this. And it helps centralize all the information related to that customer. Access type, private, allow customers, select. All right, cool. Save and next. On the manage member, so we'll go next, manage members. All right. Add Fumiko and Aaron. Alright, so we're gonna add this guy. He's a member. But we also need Fumiko. Add. Cool. Delete that. Alright. And then done. Membership. Alright, so there's 3, right? So if you look at the members, there's me, Aaron, and Fumiko. Let's go back. Where it says share and update, post that message. Alright, I'm not going to type all that out. Share. So you can like or comment. Alright, so in this scenario, Aaron asked me to show him how to post. So navigate to group, click on Edge, click poll to choose poll action. So I'm going to create a poll now. Question: are we doing a good job handling edge communication? Choice 1, yes. Choice 2, no. Ask. Alright, cool. So that's a nice feature. It's different from, like I said, I've used this for a long time ago. So some of these are new. I'm going to comment on them if I think this is a nice feature. It's nice to have that you can actually create polls. So like you got to think outside of, and outside of this use case. Like you can use this for internal stuff to talk about things, like really communicate with your internal team about things. I'm sure you can create groups for internal uh, team discussions too, and then you can create polls like this to get a better um, idea of how your team is operating, right? Especially if, like today, a lot of people are working remotely, so, it might be useful, or, you know, it doesn't always have to be a serious thing. You can always, depending on your team, you can always use it to, ask, simple things or jokes or whatever you think is best. All right, so we've done everything. Let's go ahead and verify. All right, cool. Uh, modify your data model. All right, introduction, customize field. So like I said, like a lot of these training, you basically do the same thing over and over. So, you know, like if you read it and you don't fully understand it, just get through the training. You're gonna end up doing the same thing over and over, and you'll eventually get used to just click around. Like when I first did Salesforce training, that's just what I did. I went through the steps, I just did things, and I went through the motions, and so when I was done and I was actually working in a production environment, when people asked me for things, I kind of already knew where to look for things, because this demo environment is the exact same environment that you will get in a production environment. The data will be different, but the navigation, the user interface, the way you configure things, right, or customize the environment, it works the same way. So we're going to go to the setup gear. I'm not going to go into setup gear because I have a tab here that already in setup. And when I work, I like to do this. So you just have to, one for navigation through Salesforce, and one to navigate through the setup. Because every time you hit setup, it opens up a new page. And so, like, you don't want to have 10 different setups because you're going to go in here very often, and quite a bit if you're doing stuff. And so, like, unless you really need multiple tabs for setup purposes or configuration, I just keep one up and then one for navigation. But honestly, like when I'm actually modifying and customizing, I probably have like 10 different windows between setups and navigation to look for information. All right, back to the training. Um, Click on Object Manager, click on Account, and then Fields and Relations. Field and Relationships. And at the top of it, hit New. So we're going to create a new field. Where is it? Select the date. Oh, the date. I read that as data. I was looking for data and didn't see it. But date, we're gonna hit next. Field label, support plan, start date. Alright, help text. Alright, help text. This is pretty cool. This is a really nice feature to have. I don't know if users actually pay attention to this, but it's nice to have. Right, so this help text, and there's a help icon here to explain what the help text is for. Um, it's to when you're on a page like this, right? Like let's go back to Edge Communications, and you're looking at details. And some of these fields are pretty intuitive, but you're gonna run into something, or the users ask you to create something, or you have a different intent for it, and you want people to understand what it's for. So when you add this and they hover over these things, it'll pop up. I'm sure they'll go through the steps and show you how that works, but it'll pop up and show the help information on that field. So whatever is typed here will be displayed. And if it doesn't go through it, I'll show you guys, but I'm pretty sure it will. Next. In the read-only column header, select the checkbox. Alright, so it wants everything to be read-only for this. And unselect the customer support profile. So I like I went through the user training earlier, but like this is one of the flexibility that Salesforce has for user um, security based for access, right? Like all of these are different profiles set up for users, and you probably not gonna use anything. Like I always create new ones for the users that I work with because these don't always match what they need. But custom support profile. So custom support profile, deselect that, and system administrator. Alright, click next, and save. So click the account tab. We're already there, but let's just refresh. Click details, and support plan start date. Right, see right here. See, I told you guys it was gonna pop it, right? So when you see this, and you'll have to explain for the users because users aren't gonna look for this little icon. You have to teach your users how to look for this because they're just not gonna pay attention. But once you start teaching your user and say, hey, whenever you see this little I, it's for extra information on what the field is supposedly, what its intent or purpose is for. Alright, so it says when did the current support plan begin? So pretty straightforward explanatory. The field name says this, but you'll be surprised at how many people, even with all this information, will be like, what is the purpose of this? Um, Alright, select the date 1 year ago today. Alright, so 1 year ago today. So let's just go today and then put 2. Create dependent pick list. Go back to here, object manager. We'll go into opportunity now. Alright, so if you didn't catch that, basically what I did, instead of hitting back, I just went back to this little subject, right? Because this kind of shows you the path of where you're currently at. So I could have hit back. Well, back would have took me here. So instead of doing all that and going back to setup and search for things, I'll just go object manager because that's where I'm gonna end up at. And so we're gonna go to opportunity. And the nice thing about this list is it's actually sort in alphabetical order, so it's not difficult to find things. Like there's other systems that I've worked in that has the list in however they have it set up. Like it sometimes it'll be like by the order of what's been created first. It just makes things hard to look for. But when you sort it in alphabetical order, it makes it easy to find what you're looking for. Fields and relationship. Click field dependencies. Field dependencies. Ooh, this is a good one. So new stage, and then dependent field delivery and installation. Continue. And then at the top of the table, click next until you see close one, close lost column. What? I think I'm already there. Close one, close lost. Oh, next. This next. It doesn't. It's not even specific. So we're gonna click this until we see close one, close lost. Okay, there it is. And double click in progress and yet to begin, and complete it in the close one section. So in the close, yeah, double click it, and then click preview. All right, stage. All right, in the preview, available for close one stage. All right, so see how this is, and yet in progress, yet to begin, completed. But if we go close lost, you can't click anything. So it has to be one in order for you to change the delivery installation status. And this is a really nice tool to have. So it kind of forces people to do things correctly, right? Because if it's anything else, you can't really change this, and you don't want to change this because you may have formulas or rules and run in the background that says if this is one and this is in progress, notify this person, right? If it hasn't started, notify this other person. If it's completed, awesome, notify this other person. So having that kind of control, because you don't want to have a trigger on a loss, right? I mean, there's going to be no deliveries that's going on, and this will need to be filled out. So it's a really cool way to limit and kind of control how users interact with the system. All right, so this is preview. We'll hit close because it's not real, and then we're gonna hit save. And okay, so non-controlling field have no dependent, which is fine. We don't care. Create a support process. All right, so we're gonna create a support process. So we're gonna go Setup, Home tab. Let's go Home. enter support process. All right, and at the top, we're going to hit new. Existing support process. This is going to be a massive support process. Product support process for logging customer support. Save. Ensure the new is selected in the default drop down. So selected and then click save. Right here, new. Right. Make sure that is new. And then hit save. At the top of the support process section, hit new. And then we're going to create another one. Build process for logging inquiries. And same thing. Make sure that's new. Hit save. I'm just thinking. I think I know what this is, but I don't recall what it is to really explain through things. Hopefully, as we go through this, we'll use these and it'll explain through it. But we need to go and add a pick list value to cases. So we're going to go back to Object Manager, go to Case, Fields and Relationship, and then click Type. Click Type. Click on the Type. Type. Click New under, what is it? New on the Case Type pick list. All right, so this is a standard pick list of the system. You can create your own version, but the system creates standard ones. So under that, each value needs to be on a separate line. All right, so we're gonna add all of these values in here. So you can see there's no refund, credit card subscription problem, or feature requests or questions in here. So we're just gonna hit new. All right, and then you don't have to do it one at a time. All you gotta do is add each one in a separate line. All right, we saved it. Now we're going to create record types. All right, so case. So instead of going to field and relationships, we're going to go into record types. And then new master record type product support. I think they're doing all of this to help set up for something. Because if you look back, all of this is starting to become something, right? Like we created support plan start date, right? Everything's relating to support, and then you create the pick list dependency. It's around support. No, that's not around support. Ignore that comment. And then you have the support process. So this is creating a support process. You're adding values to this, and then you're adding a record type. I think it's leading up to something, but we'll keep going. And I think it's going to combine all of the things we've been doing together to create something. Hopefully I'm right. support process, right? So product support. So this is, yeah. So this was something we created earlier with the process, right? We created the billing and the product support. And now description used to log customer support issues. And then make sure it's active. Make it available. Deselect the checkbox. All right. And then make available. So we want it to only be available to support profiles and administrator. So nobody should be able to see this record type other than users that are under the custom support profile row and the system administrator. Click next. Apply one layout. Radio button is selected and you want to select the case support layout. Alright, it's cool. It shows you how to do it right here. And then we're going to hit save. In the pick list available, click edit. And then in the pick list available, and cancel. Did I hit? Oh, in the pick list available for editing. Click edit next to type, right here. Alright, so it wants us to remove these from the selected value to over to the available value. So mechanical structure. So what I like, if you click, you can only get one at a time, right? You could do shift click, but that gives you quite a bit. What if and I'm just only explaining this from a Windows perspective. What you do in Mac, I'm not sure. But so you want to hold on the control key on your keyboard, and then now you can click and skip things, and you click only the ones that you want. And we want refund and credit card and subscription, right? So we're going to move it back to available. Basically, you remove it as options to choose from. And it says no default selected. So in this scenario, we don't want a default. Hit save. And then select record type again. And we're going to create another record type. New. Billing. This is billing. Make sure it's active. The other one defaulted as active because it was the only one set up. Now that we have two, it becomes an option. So make this same thing. We're going to do this one and this one. And hit next. Apply to one layout, case support, layout. Save this. And then we're going to edit type again. And this time we're only going to remove mechanical, electrical, structure, and feature requests. Right, so it's a little different. And then pretty sure it's just going to say default to none. Save. Alright, so we created this stuff. So the scenario is this person requested us to do this. Now we created. They want us to show the team how to use it. Alright, so we're going to go to App Launcher. Right, like normally, when if I'm doing this with users, I'll go through the process, make sure I really understand it, and then I'll document a SOP. And if you don't know what a SOP is, it's a standard operating procedure or a work instruction, however you want to reference it. But I have a document that explains to people step by step how to use this process. And you want to create that before you actually train users, because if you don't, then because nobody is going to get it on the first try. And having the document available for them to reference is going to reduce the amount of time you have to help them. Because when they come and ask you something, you can always ask them if have you checked the document I gave you during training. It should explain, right? Like if they said, "Yeah, I've checked," then you know that it's in the document. All you gotta do, okay, let's look at it together. In case I missed something or forgot something, so that you understand the document. So you both look at it together, right? And then you go to the exact page that they're having issues with. And you point it out, right? So this is the step, and this is as long as you have it really well documented. Or maybe they just didn't read it. Sometimes users just don't read things. So when you do that, it forces them to learn, and kind of makes them feel, you kind of guilt trip them into using your document, because they should have listened to you. They should have just referenced the document. They could have solved the problem without having to come to you. So it's taking up your time and their time to figure it out, where you could have used that time to do other things. So those are little tricks that I use to make sure that users are well prepared to do what they're supposed to be doing, especially if it's a new process. Uh, so, all right, so we're gonna go app launcher, service, and then go in service. We're already there, but I clicked on it. We're gonna go to accounts, edge communication, new case. All right. Right, so now it wants us to pick a process, right? A certain record type. Um, and we're gonna click the product support. So product, they say choose anything. Type electrical. And if you'll probably have to go back, but the ones that we remove as a uh, option is not here. We can't choose like credit card. I think was one of the options. We can't choose credit card, but it wants us to choose electrical, case origin, phone, case reason, performance, and then subject laptop. Turn on when the power button is pressed. All right, so all the previous steps was just to, it showed us how to create the process, the record type, modify the fields, create and pull all those information together so that um, we can just do this, right? I mean, it feels like a lot of work just to do something, but the more you build and customize your system to work for you, the easier it is to manage later on. It does take a lot of work, but you don't want people to select things by accident, because sometimes people don't pay attention to what they're doing. So you want to be able to control their actions somewhat. You don't want to control everything, because that just makes things hard for users to do what they need to do. But you want to give them some guidance, and have some control over what they're trying to do. All right, so we're gonna save. And then we're gonna create a billing one. So we're gonna hit new. You could go through this, but we're gonna end up in the same thing. Hit next. Alright, so a product, any type. So you see credit card is here, but it wasn't there earlier. Case origin, email, case reason, other. Alright. Right. So the support team, doesn't just handle technical issues, right? It could be billing, financial problems also. So it's a good way to separate. Like if I'm gonna look at cases and I just want to look at support, like product support cases, then I'm able to separate by the record type. And if I just want to look at billing issues, I separate by that. It's those are things you want to think about when you're creating and customizing your objects. Um, you know, is it really necessary? You don't want to create like record types for everything. You want to generalize it as much as possible, but it just depends on the need. Like people go crazy over data, so you don't want to overuse the data and go crazy with creating different things. It just complex. Save. I think that's it. All right, so we're done with everything. Verify. So hopefully by now you're getting used to navigating a little bit. Um, you know, for me, I use a different window, so I don't actually navigate. But if you follow the exact directions that the training guide gives you, you should start becoming comfortable doing navigating Salesforce. Introduction. What are we doing here? Email, letterhead, and template. Oh, this is a nice one. Um, all right, so I need to save that. So save image. We're gonna add it to the desktop. All right. App launcher. Enter files. Files. Upload file. So we're probably gonna upload that file we just downloaded. Where is it? Right here. Done. To edit the title name, click the down arrow to the right of the file. Edit file details. The title. Ensure the title is Get Clouded Consulting Logo. Alright, it is. I think we're good here. Alright, so app launcher. I'm going to say letterheads. Enhance letterheads. Alright, click new. Name general customer port. That's too much typing. I'm just going to copy it over. Click insert image. Header section. Click the insert image icon. Select browse or upload. Alright, we're going to do that. Insert. So we're going to go to the next line. add merge field, enter the word dear, spacebar, and click the insert merge field icon. And we're going to hit the first name. First name, check that, insert, comma, and then press enter. Then save. All right, so what this does is basically it pulls in data from Salesforce. Um, I'm not really sure from where at the moment, but it's pulling data from Salesforce. So whatever this recipient first name is inside Salesforce, wherever it's pulling it from, it's gonna populate this. That's what I don't know if you've noticed in some emails from vendors. Sometimes it'll look like this, right? It's because they have formulas, especially marketing emails. You'll sometimes see glitches that have things like this. And so you'll see things like that, and that's how they get things into the email template. Like nobody actually types out all those emails that comes into your inboxes. Um, Usually somebody has a system somewhere that does the automation for it. All right, we're gonna hit save. Now create the email template with the general customer support header. All right, app launcher, email template. Email template. Click new email template, and we're going to call this public facing general. Description, I'm just going to copy that. Folder, public, and we're going to say replace with subject. I just like to get rid of white spaces if there's ever extra white spaces, unless you want them there. But sometimes it makes formatting looks weird, so I always try to get rid of them. And we're gonna use general customer support. That's probably the one we created, and then hit save. All right, we're gonna send a test email. So enter contacts. App launcher, contacts, and we're gonna pick Andy Young. All contacts. I don't have an Andy Young. Let's see. So all contacts. So I don't have an Andy Young, but we could probably just pick one of these other ones. But I'm gonna read through this. Yeah, so we can just pick anyone. We'll pick John Connor because it says to just go edit the email address and add mine. So I'm gonna put mine. Save this. Right, in the activity tab, click send email. So on the right in the activity tab, all right, so this is the activity tab, and it wants me to send an email. There I am. Modifying it. Click insert, create, or update template icon. Oh no, that's not it. Am I missing something? Let me check this. Nope. Alright. Click the insert, create, or update template icon. I don't see that icon. Oh, it's right here. It's so small. And then it want me to use public facing. Yes, let's do that. Alright, so we got this. Cool. In the subject field, delete and fill it the subject line. Alright. Alright, cool. This is a test. We're just gonna type that. This is a test. And then click send. Alright, and so I should get a email. And here it is. This is a test. Let's download the pictures. Let's see if it actually displays. Right. Yeah, so there we go. It works. So really cool feature of Salesforce. A lot of other systems have similar things like this, but I like Salesforce feature. Like you could get really creative with Salesforce templates, with the email templates, and they allow you to create custom, HTML. There are limitations, so it's not like you can mass spam everyone all the time. They do limit you, but if you just need notifications to go out to customers or internal users, it's a really nice feature to have. All right, cool. We'll verify this. All right. Last one, automate your business process. All right, we're going to create assignment rules, go back to setup, setup, enter queues. All right, so it wants us to do queues. And create a new queue, call it billing support agent. Deselect, send email to members. All right, it's already deselected. From the available object, this is it wants case. And then next to queue members, we're going to add Fumiko and Aaron. From I'm pretty sure, yeah, click save. From setup, now it wants us to go case assignment rules. And I'll click the standard one. And then click edit. What does it want me to edit? Then click edit. And then click edit. That's what it is. Then select active. Oh, it's already active. All right. Because I rush through things sometimes, I just kind of have to reread things. All right. So, sort order value 2. What is it wanting me to do? Oh, add a new rule. All right. Sort order value 2. Run it when the criteria are met. Case status. Case status equals. Make this just a little bigger. All right. So it wants us to add case status equals new and inserted. What? Insert selected. All right. So when case status is new, second row, case record type. What? Case. Oh, case record type. Equals billing. All right. So this case assignment rule, right? This is a assignment rule. When these things are true, it wants you to do, whatever this rule tells you to do. All right. So select the pick list value Q from the list. In step 3, all right. Q. All right. And then say billing support. Billing support agent. And then it wants you to save. And then we'll go back to app launcher. Select service. We're already in service. Go into the cases tab. Hit new. We're going to hit billing. And contact name. Sean Forbes. Oh, there's no Sean Forbes. Oh. I have to create a new one. Gosh darn it. Let me see. It wants it to be related to edge communication. So I am going to go into edge communication, see if there's any contacts that exist under edge communication. Use that. Contacts. There's no contacts. And we're just going to go ahead and quickly create Sean Forge. First name Sean Forbes. I don't think anything else is required. Save. Alright, so go back to this case. Hit new. Billing. Next. Sean Forbes. Yeah, that should probably. Alright, choose any products. Electronic. Case origin. Phone. And reason. Doesn't care about reason. Client wants to renew laptop. Alright. So I'm pretty sure I could have picked any other contact, any other account. It would have worked the same way. But the reason why I went and created the account and had it create on the edge communication, because I don't know if the rest of the steps is going to involve doing something with this particular information. And so I always try to follow the steps that exist in here because it usually builds on one another. Like the modules just kind of builds on each other. And if you go too far out of the box, you kind of have to trace your steps back to try to remember what you did outside of the steps. Because especially if you're gonna verify, right? And I've seen issues where it's really finicky, where you won't get the points. Like these points, it matters, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there's no real meaning behind the points. It does matter because if you're gonna try to become a Salesforce admin or get involved in the Salesforce platform and the world of Salesforce, you want to have points so that as you're communicating with the community, they know that you've done the training, and you're expected to know certain number of things because you've done all these training, right? So the more points it shows that you've done some training. It doesn't mean that you understand the material that you did, but it shows that you've done the training and you should know something. Um, so just be aware of that as you're going through all these trainings. So far, I haven't ran into any issues, but I've seen cases on the support community where people won't get their verification done because steps gets missed. All right, Sean Forbes, renew, assign using active assignment rule. Assign using active assignment rule. Where is that? That doesn't exist. It's not appearing when creating new case. Return to case. Oh, edit standard case assignment and uncheck the active box and save after unchecking and save and toggle ensure repair. All right, so what they're saying is there should be a checkbox that has this appearing on the case. Since it's not appearing, what we need to do is go back here and edit this, uncheck this. So we're going to deactivate it. And then basically, let me just open up a new window just to make sure it's there. We can cancel all this because we're going to have to recreate it. And then go back into case, assignment rules, and go back into this, edit, save. Right. So if you were following along with me in my first video, there was an event where we had to do that, right? We close out the window, go back in for it to populate correctly. Software is weird. It's glitchy. You just, it's like Windows. When something weird is happening, you just restart. And closing the window is kind of like a restart, from what I've seen. And so this note right here basically said that's what we should do if we didn't see it. So we're gonna go back. I'm just gonna refresh this, because web pages, they only know what is alive and active based on what they've seen, right? Because some information are stored client side. If you understand, full stack development or just server client information. If not, basically this interface is client side. The all the database and data information, anything happening in the background is server side, most likely. Uh, and so when you refresh, it updates the client side information, so that it should pop up with this checkbox now. If not, we got problems. So, billing, next, contact Sean. This product could be anything. Type electronic, phone. I'm just gonna copy paste, because I don't want to type it. All right. Yeah. So right here. So it popped up. Earlier it only had the send notification to contact. So now it's here. It worked. Like, I'm probably didn't have to refresh and all that stuff, but just from experience, having to redo these things a couple of times, it's better to just do it than have it. Just saves you a little bit more time. Hit save. All right. So we're gonna create an escalation rule. All right. Case owner using assignment rule, project yang to billing support agent. All right, is that what the rule says? I don't think. Oh, this is number 2. It should have went here, but why did it get? Because step number 1 is billing country equals USA and account equals that contains. It shouldn't have went to me. This did not work. Let's modify by. Where's the owner of the case? Oh, it did. It did. I read it wrong. Yeah, it did. It did work. Right. So when the case was created, I was the owner. Right. Whoever creates the case becomes the owner. But because we had a rule in the background that says, right, because these assignment rules are set in a certain priority order, right? So the first one, that's why I was mumbling to myself earlier. The first one says if the account billing country equals USA and the account SLA equals gold, platinum, and it contains the account type is customer, right? So all of these has to be true in order for it to just be assigned to me. So this part probably isn't true. Um, and so it move on to the next rule. The next rule says if the status equals new and the case record type equals billing, which is what we did, right? Status is new, case record type is billing. I don't know if it shows here. But through the process when we were creating it, it was billing. And so it says, because of that, assigning to a billing support agent. And that's what it did. So it worked. Now we're going to create an escalation. So go back to setup, escalation. Click new rule name called support. Hit save. Choose the new support and then rule entries. All right. So because this is a new one, there's no rules in it. The other one, because it was a standard rule that already existed, there was some rules set up there. Could have been out of the box. Your environment may not have anything set up, so you probably have to create all of this from scratch. But we'll go through. So order 1. That's probably the first thing you want to do. Or you may be like, this is not an important one, set it to a really low number, a really high number, so that it has low priority when you create new ones. Run this through. Criteria are met. So case reason equals performance. Performance, insert selected, and save. All right. New update. All right. New escalation under the age over value to 1. Click new under escalation actions. All right. So age over 1. Over 1. All right. This is kind of weird. So you put 1 age over. Right, let's read this. The number of hours after which a case should escalate. if it has not been closed. All right, so 1 hour and 0 minutes. That's what this means. That didn't make sense, but so it's 1 hour 0 minutes, or 1 hour 30 minutes, or how many hours and 0 minutes, and how many hours and 30 minutes. You know, if you just wanted 30 minutes, I'm pretty sure you just type in 0 here and then change this to 30, and it'll be 30 minutes. Notify this users using the lookup field, and they want us to click on my name, and we're going to choose support escalated case notification. All right, and then hit save. So what this escalation rule is saying, that if the if it's been over an hour, that if that something hasn't happened, then escalate to me. So if you're a manager and you're looking at support cases, and managers wants to know, if nothing's happened to a certain case, let me know, so that I can talk to whoever it's been assigned to find out what's going on. Right. So. Right. Yeah. So, and the case reason has to equal performance. So if it's a performance issue and it's been over an hour, escalate this to someone, and that someone currently is me, but most likely whoever's in charge, or whoever needs to understand that escalations needs to occur, right? So all they're gonna get is an email notification that says, "Hey, this case has been sitting for over an hour. Do something about it." So we're gonna go back to cases, click new, cases, click new, product support, next, go back to Sean Forbes, edge communication, choose any product, electronic. I think I did something wrong. Where is it at? Record type. No, object manager, cases, record type. Because it's saying electronic right here, and there's no electronic option. So I'm not going to go back, I'm just going to go fix it. Move this and add this. Alright, save. And then go back. We're probably going to have to refresh, create a new one. Nope. Yep. See how that didn't update, even though I updated it here in the type, right? So, like I was saying, like the client side doesn't recognize that there's been a change, because it only has the information that it has at that last moment. And so, if I refresh this and hit new, uh, and then see how it's here now, electronic, right? So I refresh. Basically, your web interface went back to the Salesforce server and said, "Give me all the current information that exists related to this area that I'm working in." Right. So earlier, because we didn't refresh, the data didn't get updated, and so it only know how to pull what it had at the moment. And so sometimes you get users that ask you questions like, "Hey, it's not coming up." And most people will just refresh because they've worked in system, but sometimes you just gotta tell them, "Hey, just refresh it. I just made a change. Just refresh it, or close the whole window, right? And then go back in." Product. Email. case reason performance. So, and then laptop not working. Client. Oh. And then use the assignment rule. Save, copies the case number of the case you just created. Oh, so save. Did I not check the box? I don't know. We'll check the box now. So nothing changed. All right, case number. This is the case number. We're gonna copy that. I just did click Control C, and then from setup, enter case escalation. Look, and even got an email saying that the case has been assigned to me. What are we doing? Escalation. Escalation. Case escalation. Filter cases. Filter the case escalation queue to show you case just created by entering the criteria. Case escalation equals. And then the case number. Oh, that's why they need it. So we're going to search for it. No, where you expect to see escalating for this. Congratulations. Right, so it's not popping up because it probably hasn't been over an hour. Because it's not going to occur. Because the escalation rules says I mean the rule is there. Come on. So whenever I run into problems like this, I always want to figure out why it's not appearing. It should appear. Let's just do this. Contains case to escalate. No? Nothing's popping up. Case to escalate equals that. It should pop up. Let's go back and look at the case. Because the details is correct. Right? Because our rule says case reason equals performance. And the case reason is performance. So it should escalate. I'm just going to verify, see if I got the points. It's a demo. I'm not too curious about it, but it is strange that it doesn't pop up. It should have popped up right here based on the escalation rules and the information here. Right, because this part doesn't matter. This part will only escalate. It will actually occur if because this is an action. It's not the rule to escalate. This is it needs to be escalated if this event happens. But if it's been an hour and nothing has been taken care of, then send an alert to this person. But this is see how it says environment monitoring case escalation, right? So this feature in Salesforce, all it is it's looking for cases, escalation cases, right? It's going to look at your escalation rules and say, okay, what are the escalation rules? And it says, okay, so if this event happens and it equals, then it should pop up in this monitoring. Because what it's doing is it's looking at the escalation action. Is there anything I need to do if an escalation action meets the criteria, right? So it's monitoring it, and if like you probably want to change this and say if it's not, if it's not what is it? Priority origin. Where's the status? Like there should be like a close. Like if the case isn't closed and the case reason is due to performance, then you should do all this. Like this reason, it just shows you how to go through the process, but that's doesn't make sense in a business case scenario. Hopefully that didn't confuse you too much. And we did go ahead and verify it worked, even though we saw that it's not showing up right here, which kind of bothers me. But I'm just going to continue on. We've been at this for a while now, so I'm just going to stop here. We're done with this. You could rate it, very helpful. It does help them. I don't ever rate things, so I'm just gonna continue on. All right, cool. Assignment complete. That I always like to go back and check my profile and my trailhead. So we're done with this playground. Go back to my trailhead. All right, so now, I mean, yesterday I had like 1,600 points. Now I have 2,300 points. And yesterday, I believe it was just 2% completed. Now we're at 6% completed. Still got quite a bit ways to go, but we're done with um, two more modules. I went through the user management module and didn't realize I wasn't recording. It's a quick one. There's no actual steps or action that you need to take in the user management. Is just going through reading the documents, understanding the user security, and you should really learn how to understand it. But if you don't worry too much about it, because you will learn it when you work in a production environment. But you do need to understand it when you take your test if you are going for the Salesforce Administrator. But if you're just learning to learn it, it's good to go through it, and you'll learn it through setting up user profiles for your environment. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me on this, Salesforce Administrator journey. Like I said, I'm not really doing this to get the certificate, but I probably will. We'll see how I feel once I finish through all of this. But I want to get into the community so I can help people out and probably create some, tutorial videos on how to actually solve people's problem, so that you can, you guys can also learn. And there's a lot of people helping people on those communities, but I think if there was someone who really talked through the steps and really showed people how to use Salesforce, you'll probably learn a lot better, and we'll get a lot of more people out there that knows how to use Salesforce. So follow along if you liked and enjoy the video. Subscribe, hit the like button, all of that good stuff. I'll see you guys in day 3 in the next one. Thanks.